Already would have had a late start this evening, and so we want to jump straight into our conversation. Good evening to each and every one of you guys again, officially. Just to inform each and every person who is not yet aware, the New National Party, they're heading to Carriacou and Petite Martinique this coming Saturday. Yes, let me just ensure that I concrete the information and I don't give you any misleading information. Yes, but the people in Carriacou, your guys' turn is here, and so we're heading up to Carriacou. Somebody saying that they're loving this song. Yeah, man, the damn doctor alone. Yeah, but don't worry, we're jumping into the conversation in a short while. We are going to be into the conversation in a short while, so you guys are going to get more of it. So just to confirm, I am not seeing. I know. I think it may be. It's maybe on my private group chat. Yes. But however, the New National Party, we're heading to Carriacou and Petite Martinique this coming Saturday. So all you guys, we're asking you who can make it to Carriacou. If you want to be part of the action and the love and the enjoyment, you can definitely do that. And all right. Yes. So once you can head on out to Carriacou, you definitely will be able to enjoy. Yes. Now, last evening, the New National Party held its General Council meeting. And ladies and gentlemen, I have never felt such an energy in a long time oozing from the General Council meeting. Everyone was in glee. Everyone were in enjoyment. Everybody felt like, this is the place that I had to be. Yes? And so many of you guys who I met yesterday, smiling faces, giving me thumbs up. Ladies and gentlemen, the New National Party is about to go head on to the next general election. If they don't know, we're telling them. We are ready to face the next general election head on. And let me say to you, based on my timing today, I didn't get a chance, really and truly, to prepare as to, what to speak about and where to speak from. But you see, the National Democratic Congress has given us so many materials to work with that every single day they get themselves involved in something more, nothing less. Yeah? And so, to come ever so often and be able to deliberate to you guys is very easy because they are performing at a low standard. And so, every old people always say, when you stand at low, anybody climbing your back. Yeah? So, today, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I want to start with for the many of you guys who missed, to me, and that's just to me, one of the most highlighted things yesterday for me, ladies and gentlemen, because I was not so much on the inside. I was taking in, because I was outside. I was taking in the names and so on from persons from different constituencies. But what highlighted for me yesterday was the message from the Prime Minister of Jamaica and the leader of the Jamaica Labour Party, the most honorable Andrew Holness. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to share that sentiment not just for the General Council, but the advice he gave to every supporter of the New National Party yesterday. And his message was very, very comprehensive, very loud in what I believe every supporter of the New National Party should be heading for in the not too distant future when it comes to our next general election. And so I want you to listen to the message that was echoed by Brother Holness last evening.
Political leader of the New National Party and leader of the opposition, the Honorable Emmeline Peer, party chairman and former Prime Minister, the Honorable Keith Mitchell, brothers and sisters of the New National Party, good afternoon. It is my great honor to bring greetings on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party to the supporters and members of our sister party in Grenada, the New National Party, the NNP. The Jamaica Labour Party and the New National Party, as proud members of the Caribbean Democrat Union, share political bonds, a common history, a common vision, and a common belief that strong leadership rooted in service to the people can transform nations. Our bond of friendship and solidarity has stood the test of time, and today it is stronger than ever. This afternoon, I recognize the leadership of the New National Party, the tremendous accomplishments under the stewardship of your former leader, Dr. Mitchell, and now the determined work being carried forward under your new leader, a strong and competent woman committed to taking Grenada into the future, Emmeline Pierre. I commend you for the early work already being done in preparation for the next general election. I know it is not always easy, but it is absolutely necessary. The energy, dedication, and discipline you are showing at this stage reflect true leadership built on vision, preparation, and commitment to the people. My friends, to secure our historic third term in Jamaica was not easy. We worked tremendously hard and ensured we gained the trust and confidence of the Jamaican people. In turn, the people saw in us a team that was prepared, a team that remained grounded, and a team that delivered on the commitments we made. I therefore want to encourage you, the members of the NNP, remain steadfast, stay close to the people, keep their struggles, their hope, and their dreams at the center of everything you do. Elections are not won in the heat of a campaign alone. They are won in the daily connections you make with people, in the trust you build, and in the vision you consistently communicate. The Jamaica Labour Party will walk hand in hand with the New National Party as you prepare for the coming elections. We will share experiences and we will strengthen our collaboration, because when one of us wins, we all win. Grenada, like Jamaica, can thrive with strong, disciplined, and visionary leadership. Under the new leadership of the NNP, the foundation is being laid for victory and for renewed service to the people of Grenada. In closing, winning elections is a critical part of the bigger mission of shaping lives, building nations, and ensuring that our children inherit a better future than the one we met. That is the mission that unites us. That is the bond that keeps the Jamaica Labour Party and the New National Party strong. Stay focused, stay united, and stay committed. With God's guidance and the will of the people, I am certain that the NNP will rise to the occasion and Grenada will move forward with strength and purpose. On behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party, I wish you every success in your deliberations today and in the journey ahead. May God bless the New National Party. May God bless Grenada, and may God continue to bless our Caribbean family.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of us who had missed it yesterday, this was the sentiment that came from the political leader and the Prime Minister of the Jamaica Labour Party. Yes, Honorable Andrew Holness. And the sentiment shared there is what I want to echo throughout the next few weeks, months, or how long it takes for our next general election. The words commitment, the word dedication, the word unity is what would cause us as a political organization and supporters of the organization to continue to strive. Yes, NNP is not a fly-by-night political organization in the Caribbean. You heard his deliberation? His deliberation was not one of castigating the government of today. His deliberation did not call on any particular minister or maybe the present state of Grenada. his sentiment was shared on ensuring that the political party he's supporting the sister party in terms of encouraging, not defamating, not crying down anybody, not saying anything about the Prime Minister or the Cabinet of Grenada. And understand this is what leadership is about. Understanding your position and understanding that you would have to work along with persons. And so, it baffled me last week. It baffled me when I had to sit, ladies and gentlemen, and hear two cabinet ministers, one bringing up the conversation of seeing the back or the backs of the present Prime Minister of Jamaica while being in Jamaica, and quoting that they are there to support a sister party. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am not one of the oldest voters. Yeah? I am not one of the oldest voters. I have been following this trend a very long time. And this is my very first time hearing the National Democratic Congress calling the party in Jamaica their sister party. But it only goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, the levels that these persons are willing to go to always have a way to oppose or come up against the new national party. Their focus, ladies and gentlemen, has nothing to do with state and state building. Their focus goes mainly into that of bringing down, castigating, lying in some circumstances when it comes to the new national party. So, one of those cabinet ministers wanted to go against the NNP so bad that he took 5 planes. Let me know have it be said that Prince lie. Hold on.
So guys, so we travel all from Grenada. We took about 5 flights to be here. All from Grenada. We took about 5 flights. We travel all from Grenada. We took about 5 flights to be here because we said our sister.
Let me say, ladies and gentlemen, I have never been to Jamaica. But my last geographic projection as it relates to Grenada and Jamaica I don't believe it's a flight that exceeds more than 1, and even if you're doing transit, would not cause you to take 5 flights. See, I tell you guys, let me tell you something about about these guys. These guys are clueless on politics. They're clueless. They are clueless. Believe you me when I tell you that. Sometimes you look at family members and you look at the children and young ones within that family, and you would see that there is a youthful exuberance that is among them. And they're flying on the scope of, my family is rich and my family have money. But you only get to realize how lackadaisical or lazy they are when grandma or grandpa died. And so it is now their turn to keep afloat that financial record and that economical drive. And when it gets into their hand, all the time you were realizing that they had all the ideas, oh, when daddy die or when mommy die, the estate and the land and the business, I'm going to do this to it and I'm going to do that. Only to realize that when you give them the job to keep it going, you only then get to realize that they don't know squat. And so during the campaign, this guy sung nice. They sung good. They make themselves the best singing set of fellas. Hence the reason why I sometimes say to myself, when persons say to me, oh, Dr. Mitchell Dr. Mitchell had nothing to do with the last general election. Let me say this to you guys. A lot of NNP supporters got tricked in believing that these guys had something good up their sleeves. But let me just finish this statement when the fella take the 5 flights. Let me finish.
We travel all from Grenada. We took about 5 flights to be here because we said our sister party could not be taking part in elections in Jamaica and we stay in Grenada. So greetings from our Prime Minister, the Honorable Dickie Mitchell. And he said to Andy and Kevin, make sure you are in Jamaica to support your sister party in Jamaica. So we are behind you 100%. And let me tell you something. We never back a losing horse. So
Watch me. And last night, I don't want to get there yet. I didn't want to jump the gun. But last night when Dr. Mitchell went into humor, they were asking, some supporters was asking, that comedy show, yeah, cartoon thing. They never back a losing horse yet. And I say to you guys, when these guys lose the next general election, you are going to see the real people that we had governing this state. Trust me. Trust me when I say that to you. When these guys leave office, then you would realize and ask yourself, what did we really have running our affairs in this country? Not who you know, what?
I can tell you, be guaranteed that we are going to take this thing. So get your uncle, your sister, your
Sorry about that. I was mute, sorry. Thank you very much. So let me say this. To the people of Jamaica, understand. And let me just speak here first. He mentioned that the greetings came from the Prime Minister of Grenada. Understand that the Prime Minister's position is a state position. And so the government of Grenada, right, or the position of the Prime Minister, is whom he is stating that is sending the greetings. That is false. Let me get that out of the way. You went to support your sister party from a sister's party. And so what you had to say was that the sentiment is coming from the leader of the National Democratic Congress. Had nothing to do with the Prime Minister, my dear brother. Nothing to do with the Prime Minister. Dance in all your section for all yourself. So it only goes to show that this guy's full intention is to always be somewhere where they can oppose the NNP. Many years of Dr. Mitchell being in office, he have gained the relationship, he have gained the trust, he has gained the companionship, he has gained the love of many leaders throughout the Caribbean. If you can pull for me one tape where and when Dr. Mitchell ever left our country as Prime Minister. Even with the years of JLP winning the general election and said, or any member went and said, that from the NNP or the government of Grenada, the Prime Minister, that we are sending any sentiment or sharing any sentiment, and they want to see the backs, trying to get the one with King Dummy. Because at the end of the day, what we first need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are not going to accept the fact. They are never going to accept the fact of their failures. Never. The day we see that is the day we might see a green pink jackass run around the tongue of St. George's. They have never failed yet. They don't know what loss is like or losing is like. And so they are filled in their minds that the Grenadian people are accepting everything that they do. Let me say to some of you guys, I have seen persons in photographs, I've seen persons in meetings that have gone to listen and understand the true prospect of this present administration. And most or some of the sentiment shared is that these guys aren't ready yet. Grown folks. But to remind you guys that NNP continues to be the best choice. And I see somebody they playing an old tape the other day about Dr. Mitchell and what Dr. Mitchell said. So I decided, let me go and look for an old one too. Just to remind the Grenadian people that they are persons. And as I started by saying, they are NNP, full-fledged NNP, mind, body, and soul. Take away the economic stride or strive. Let it take away what they're getting in their pockets. And let it give you an honest opinion about the new National Party. And let me tell you, this is what they're going to say.
Though they supported before the NDC, they realize that the only party and the only government that can lead us to the future is the new National Party. That is why, brothers and sisters, that we have more and more people coming to the house of the new National Party. And that is why, brothers and sisters, that you have to welcome them. Do not get jealous. Let's welcome them. We love them. So I want to say to all the new supporters who are in the house that we love you and we welcome you.
And they want to pull old tape. I just have to pull old tape for the next week or so. I pull in old tape. This is the sentiment shared. This is the sentiment. This is honesty. They're not fake thing. They're not fake thing, ladies and gentlemen. When they shared the sentiment before, it was real. And it's sad to say, ladies and gentlemen, I said to them now, they start to think about their pocket. Yeah? They start to think about their pockets. And so, now that they're thinking about their pockets, NNP is the worst thing God ever created. But we know better. And we have seen better. And we understand much better. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go back to the song I start with. And for those of us who just joined us, I want to play a little piece in the song that I start with before I start my next conversation. I wouldn't play the whole clip. Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 2 weeks, the Grenada, they knew today, has taken it up on their own stride to post Dr. Mitchell every week. earlier on in the week, there was a clip going around again with Dr. Mitchell. Now, what is funny, our political leader, Ms. Emmeline Payne, has done her own personal life. She have done consultations. She have been doing walkthroughs. She have been doing village meetings. She have been up and about. But after what I've seen for the past week or so, ladies and gentlemen, the NDC administration and their goons have nothing presently on the movement of the new National Party. Believe you me when I tell you that. I have been here long enough to understand how they operate. And so, they have nothing so far to defend on the things that Ms. Payne and other members have been saying. And so last week, they could not have gotten a good one. And they tried to jump on the next best thing. That is Dr. Clarice Modeste Cowan. She spoke as it relates to the Bonnet Bridge, and she said they want to thief the bridge. And they cut just that little piece, and they sent it out there. Understanding, ladies and gentlemen, that the deliberation made by the MP, she was speaking about the manner in which they're going about conducting themselves and grabbing every project and everything as is their own. And so they stated, Dr. Mitchell said a few years ago, that all the project that was left by the NDC, it had continued because it was Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique own. And what makes the difference is that all the projects that have been left there, the NDC are taking claim that they are the ones who have initiated, they are the ones that are doing it. And hence the reason why the sentiment is being echoed by the NNP that no, it's not all your project. Because all you ain't do nothing. And so we have to defend that. So at this stage, they have absolutely nothing, ladies and gentlemen. And so they're grabbing onto straw. So they post Dr. Mitchell where he made an old clip and in a few years ago, and then they posted Dr. Clarice Modeste last week. But there was a consultation that took place in Grenada, initiated by the opposition leader, Her Majesty's opposition. And I'm certain that the sentiment that came from that consultation should have drawn them aback, understanding that they are Grenadians that are willing to now be part of the conversations. And so I heard they send Sister Glow. They sent Sister Glow to defend the conversation of the bill. But you know, when they send Sister Glow to do something, you know, like you'd send a child in the shop and they asking you, which sugar your mother want, white or brown? And the child goes say, I don't know, well, mommy that sent me. So when you give Sister Glow time to explain herself, you know Sister Glow does sound like somebody go beat her based on what she say. So Sister Glow decided she's going to touch on the conversation of the bill last week. Well, if you don't see mess, hear it.
Minister for Social and Community Development, Housing and Gender Affairs, Honorable Gloria Thomas, in an exclusive interview with the MTV News team, confirmed that a stakeholder consultation on the Age of Civil Legal Responsibility Bill 2025 was held on Tuesday. The proposed bill seeks to amend the Act to allow minors 16 years and older to consent to sexual and reproductive health treatments, including diagnostic procedures, without parental or guardian approval. It also empowers the Minister or Attorney General by order to extend this right to minors aged 12 to 16 for specific treatments under certain conditions. According to Thomas, Tuesday's meeting brought together a wide cross-section of stakeholders, including the Child Protection Authority.
The Child Protection Authority. Come on. Child Protection Authority an affiliation with the government.
And the Royal Grenada Police
The Royal Grenada Police Force, another affiliation with the government of Grenada.
Force.
Yes, well, I'm happy to report that today we had a consultation with key stakeholders as it relates to the Age of Civil and Legal Responsibility Bill 2025. So we had representative from health, we had the Child Protection Authority, we had the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association, we had the Program for Adolescents Model, we had the Child Protection Authority, we had the police, the Department of Community Relations, and we also had the Grenada Coalition on the Rights of the Child present, along with other persons and interest groups.
Several.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you what is wrong with that group, or the listing of that group. More than 85% of the persons within that conversation are government affiliates. They are affiliated with government. Now, how productive can this be when you're speaking to persons that are government affiliated? What you believe would be the honest deliberation? Would they stand against it? Most of the persons there who might be private entities, yeah, they are basically maybe getting subsidiaries from government and support from government. So how fruitful can this be? What voice are echoed really from that consultation? Let's be factual. What is really voiced from that conversation?
Groups and individuals, including opposition leader Emmeline Pay, have voiced strong opposition to the bill. Thomas stressed that the consultation was aimed at dispelling misinformation and clarifying the bill's true intent.
The meeting was really geared towards having everyone get a clear understanding as to what this bill is about, because there's so much misinformation out there.
No, you structure a bill without consultation. And then all you're doing, because you're now having consultations, as you stated, and the purpose of the consultation is not to get or understand whether or not persons are in agreement or disagreement, but to simply have them understand the bill. So it's not whether or not I am against or for. All you're making me do is understand it.
Bill's true intent.
The meeting was really geared towards having everyone get a clear understanding.
So you hear that? The meeting is simply for them to get a clear understanding. A clear understanding to do what? After you write it already.
As to what this bill is about, because there's so much misinformation out there that it has started creating confusion in the minds of persons who are supposed to be taking that bill forward and supporting that bill. All the organizations that I mentioned and that was present are organizations that work in the interest of our children. And if this bill is to protect our children, we think that it was necessary for all of us to meet, have a meeting of the minds, so that we can always be singing from the same hymn sheet.
Critics argue that the legislation could undermine parental authority and encourage risky sexual behavior by increasing minors' access to reproductive health services. Thomas dismissed these claims as unfounded, emphasizing that this was the first in a series of consultations to be held with religious, political, and community groups in the coming months.
This bill was really set in place to look after the interests of our children, especially those who are vulnerable, those whose parents are not there for them, those who cannot speak with their parents or report some of their needs to their parents. This bill is not really geared towards functional family, for those who have functional family, but those who
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to cut it there because so you write a bill and you're making the bill. You're stating now that the bill is not so much for, so you're saying that murder is an offense. Anybody commits the offense of murder is liable to hanging. You write the bill, you make the law. But then you're coming back now and say that hanging, but based on how you kill the person, you won't get hanged. So the bill is written on a broad scope. It is generalized. It's for everybody. The bill is a state law. Everybody. But it's more for the vulnerable people, not the functioning family. So what makes someone who's in a functioning family not do it? That is my question. It is written for the vulnerable children, those who may not be able to have a conversation with their parents and so on. What about those who are in functional family and they're wanting to just be malicious or menace and say, well, I want to do this, but I don't want mommy to know, so I wouldn't do it. Because those are the ones that you should be cautious about. Because someone who is in a functioning family and understands that mommy and daddy is stringent on sexual practices, adolescent behavior of misconduct, they are the ones that are going to take the opportunity to trick. Okay, I don't need to go to mommy don't need to know I went for that. Those are the ones that are in functioning family that are going to use the law as to their own fancy, or your dad dotish. Because at the end of the day, mommy and daddy at home, and there are certain laws within the home. And baby girl want to be with she wild friends and them, knowing that mommy and daddy is stringent. She happens to come up with whatever STD or whatever it is. And now she don't want mommy and daddy to know. So she walks in to a medical facility. And based on the law, she has all right to do so. She has all right to do so. Later on down the road, something happens, and mommy's saying, well, you know, I'm here to do this, and she may have to take this, or she may have to drink this, or use this. And then you see, when you do those things and you give that okay, let's be honest. When it comes to medical intake, sometimes it calls for dieting. What you drink, what you raise, and all these things are named. You may not be able to lift certain things, take certain things. Now let's take it to me. My 13-year-old daughter go outside there and she do something, maybe a miscarriage, something of that nature. And here am I now in the house, being unaware, bought a new bed. And I'm having the young child raise a bed. So we're trying to bring a bed in. She's holding her end, I'm holding her end, and we're bringing it in. Forceful. In a position where she should not be lifting heavy load. I am being unaware of this. I'm killing my child. I'm killing my child and I don't even know that I'm killing my child. All because of this legislation. I am unaware as it relates to a medical condition. I am unaware. And let's not speak about all the conversation you should have with your children. We know how defiant some of these children could be. You talk from now till Timbuktu. I have known of parents that even grown women in the house, or grown persons within the house, you're unaware that they're having a child, maybe 4, 5, 6 months on the road. You're opening a can of worms. And we're not saying that there is no way that the government should not be interested in our children and being able to give them that access. But there must be parental guidance. Must be. And 12 years, 16 years is children. That is children. For those of them who don't have, that is children in our eyesight. My 12-year-old daughter, my 13-year-old daughter, my 14-year-old daughter, in my eyesight, it's still my baby. That is still my baby. I still take care of this child. I believe still that every functioning process in this child's life, I must be there. I must. So to go so far as to a medical conversation, I must be there. And so many things can happen within that time. Many things. Some of these children would have to fight this pain alone. Frustration alone. And as a parent, you're home. You're wondering nowadays, you hear children hanging themselves, young people hanging themselves. You at home. And your child, you're unaware that your child went for this medical assistance. And you're home fighting over what I do wrong. And this child is fighting her own battle. This boy, this girl is fighting their own battle, unaware as to the process of their medical condition. Some of us are old school. When things like this happen, we could tell people, if you lost a child, an old person might tell you, drink this or eat that, or you have to do this. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. So it's not just saying no and we don't want the bill and we don't like the bill, but at the end of the day, here's the reason where the consultation comes in. We want to hear each side of the table so we understand. But you bring it forward and now you're doing consultation. So you put the cart first and you wanted to pull the horse. And then initially, for those of us who remember, when this bill conversation came up, you know what the Prime Minister said? He remembered when he took leadership and the conversation or the consultation surrounding this conversation took place in Spice Basket. At the time, the number less than 10, one number less than 10, was the minister in charge. But he said that 3 years or so after, 4 years, and the bill was never brought forward by the past administration. But still wanting to lay blame for the Grenadian people to believe, no man, there is not a bill brought forward by the present political organization. It is brought forward in the past. And so let me blaze them in the past. There's somebody saying weeks ago, the Prime Minister said weeks ago that there was a widespread consultation, and I want to get the tape because I could play it. So widespread consultation was said by the Prime Minister, but the Minister is now saying that in the upcoming weeks they want to meet with political parties and religious denominations. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sharing this, I'm echoing this sentiment. The National Democratic Congress of a government organization is clueless as it relates to governance. They are clueless. As I said to you guys, this is you sending your child to fair or sports with $100. Look, $100 are going inside and bed, going in the pasture still. And by the time you come, they're just buying things. They're running up and down, they close dirty. You're wondering, that is the NDC. They are not addressing the important issues. Imagine an ex-prime minister, chairman of a political party, in his personal life is making front page news in Grenada. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? As one person tell me, oh, confusion that does sell. Drama that does sell. So I guess the owner of the newspaper should simply just open some dance hall, if it's entertainment you want, and drama. Open a rum shop, men always fighting for rum. But you can't tell me you're using a media platform, some medium to share information. And persons not posting on the front page that the New Today would have responded to Ophelia, and she and Keith have been leaving. Lord, listen to me, Grenada. Watch me. Politics in Grenada is getting scary. And I always say, And I'm going to say this again. And I don't know how many times I've told the person that. You see, if deep in my heart, I wasn't sound in working for this party's victory, I would have just turned my back and not listen anything political in Grenada. Politics in Grenada is scary. Wrong is right based on who you support. This morning, after Dr. Mitchell's conversation last night, and he said what he said, I see persons talking about the standard of Dr. Mitchell, if that is the standard. Dr. Mitchell, 23 years, leader and prime minister, you're talking standard and moral standard with this gentleman? Well, I cannot understand this. A gentleman who has served this country, lost a general election, and came back and won back-to-back 15 in a row. And the many persons who are bellowing now were electorates before. Some of them even casting a ballot for him to be prime minister. Yes, some of them that are sitting now, even within cabinet, they casted a ballot within his 23 years. More so even maybe the prime minister, allegedly, might have voted the NNP before. And you talk standard and moral standard, NNP to NDC. A few months old politician in Grenada, well not Grenada, Carriacou, echoed the sentiment that yes, although he caused the police, yes, I caused the police. And I'm talking moral. Yes, I caused the police. Although you say I caused the police, yes, I caused the police. Section 131B of the Criminal Code say anyone making use of obscene language, threatening language, or insulting language to the annoyance of an individual commits an offense. It also speaks to the offense of disorderly behavior and conduct. Those are state laws. Now MP sits and says, yes, I do it. He admits to an offense against the state, and he is morally correct. But a man stand up and say, I's man, put me back on the newspaper, have a nice woman. Man boasting about his love of his life. Eh? See men in America, Will Smith box Chris Rock for you, man. Man bad for the woman, all way you go in the wall, all way you go in the wall, man bad for the woman. And last night the man stand up for you, man. Hey, you have a nice woman. All way you post it, all way you go under the comment section, you hear everybody saying, but hey, Doc have a nice woman. So the man stand up for you, man. Let the people know, he's a nice man. Eh? The man intelligent, you woman intelligent. Eh? They traveling, they educated. That is love and niceness. We seen the Prime Minister. And my father having Victoria is a little piece of land that he does walk and I like to see him walk it. Me more hear me mother build a nice little piece in Victoria. So if anything were to happen to me, that is when I have to go back. And the most I had to me name is my son. So let me just say what I want to say. But we have been accepting immorality. We have been accepting nasty behavior. Make some noise. Make some fucking noise. Was accepted in Grenada. make some fucking noise, was accepted in Grenada by a parliamentary representative. But Ice Man is demoralizing. Yeah? We and them big dogs. The Speaker of the House says, Honorable Member, you have to make some adjustment with what you said. Your Honor, I didn't say big dogs. I said big boys. Morals. That is morals, right? That is morals. 2 ministers sit in the House of Parliament. They carry a piece of PVC in the House of Parliament. And in one's deliberation, the other one pass a piece of PVC and he say everything there in the paper. That is moral, man. That is moral. That is good conduct in the state of Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique. Good thing. Nice thing. 4 cabinet ministers stand in a shop and music playing, gun finger in the air, and they dancing. That is moral. That is good thing. And you like that? That is good thing. That nice thing. Prime Minister stands and he say, the mother hen walk out and the chicken follow. That is moral. Good moral conduct. The opposition leader in the country is a mother hen. Good conduct. Nice thing. Standing Carriacou. How many more? Give me more. Give me last one. And they third laugh. That is moral, man. That is good thing. Dr. Mitchell make a little humor, and where is the moral? Afraid all you. I go in heaven and I see some of all you. I telling the Lord, leave me here. Leave me here, I go leave here for myself. I want to live here for myself. Because I don't believe we go have a good relationship in heaven. I'm telling you. You're coming on, you're hearing podcasters before you've seen podcasters lifting up panty in their podcasts. Eh? Me and Sister Jenny and them, we good. We playing it by the thing. We still calling them in a good name. Eh? Podcasters before. Eh? Intentionally calling and mispronouncing names. Eh? That is the Grenada that the NNP had to deal with. And everybody was kept at bay. No lawsuit. Nobody got lawsuit. Anything misleading was dealt with in a professional manner. Then the alleged culprit do a video. You know, like, man, take your eye off of me. God, they should box you. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is the standard of governance in Grenada, Carriacou, and PD Martinique that many of, I shouldn't say us, them have come to accept. Many has come to accept. The very same individuals in whom they're trying to defend started because of a conversation of importance that are yet still to be addressed. The conversation started because the said minister's visa was restricted, taken away. The New Today don't write about that. There have not been any rebuttal or anything from the government, no deliberation concerning the restriction of that gentleman's visa. Instead, you jump on who he was with and who he there with to make your front page. Prince, drink water, drink water. Drink water, Prince, drink water. Drink water. Drink water and wipe your sweat. 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 These men are clueless. We have seen information that next year, the start of next year, our fisher folks might be faced with being able to send their products or sell their products to the United States. But Kit Mitchell and Ophelia making front page in Grenada. Imagine that. Imagine that. This is the standard. There are children that are home now from since the recommencement of school last week. They are yet to even have school items to go to school. I have a friend who's posting it on Facebook. But Kit Mitchell and Ophelia making front page. That is the focus. That is the agenda. But I want to send this, I want to send it to all, you know. I want to ask God to please keep Dr. Mitchell Day another 70 years for me. Keep him there. Just don't die. Don't die, Dr. Mitchell. Don't leave us. But stay there. Because I realize that the mere fact that your presence is still on earth still earns the mind of many Grenadians and politicians by extension. I've never seen that before. Never. All how Donald Trump run him out on Barack Obama and who he run him out on. How many times have you heard him brought up conversation on them? That is the first time I've seen that. The man say he done. He make one step back. One step back. He say, I don't want leadership. He make one step back. You are seeing the dear sister and leader of the party out and about. Meetings, they, Ray. He's even acknowledging how to be the prime minister, the next one. Eh? Are you still in the man's crotch? Are you afraid? That is fright. That is a sign of fear. I have never seen that before. Now, when a man could wake in the morning, come outside, do a little jog in the morning, if he wish to bathe in the pool, sit in the veranda with his girlfriend, that is man. That is man. But on every show you're saying take jab. All we have seen you with is jab. You leave the country jab. You come back jab. We need not to question anything concerning him. Nothing. I don't know you, man. And we need to stay focused, ladies and gentlemen, to understand this is the ideas that they're going to come with. This is the concept that they're going to come with. Dr. Mitchell said that, and Dr. Mitchell said that. But I want to tell them, when they ran last general election in campaign, and we said things Tillman Thomas said, they said to us, Tillman is not the leader, it's Deacon. Well, don't tell us what Kit Mitchell say. Emlyn Pierre is the leader. So don't tell me what Kit Mitchell did say. Don't tell me what Kit Mitchell did say. Kit Mitchell is not the leader of the NNP. Kit Mitchell is not the leader. Go in Africa and get a prime minister. Because nobody don't know where he is. So let me say that way he going and he end up somewhere else. We have been We have seen that. And as I said to you guys, they can speak on moral values. State projects, capital projects. They cannot speak on it. Because they said in the NMP time, everything was in the pipeline. They didn't even dig a trench for the pipe yet. They can't say anything that Emmeline Pace said last night. They can't say nothing that Amanda Japal said last night. Or Dr. Clarice Modeste. Or Brother Cox. They can't say. Because what they said, what they brought forward was factual. And that is what we have to share. Michelle say, give a whole speech and in the end, he talk about here Newman, but they take only that piece. Because everything else that was brought forward last night was factual. So you can't defend that. They could not have defended it. As I said, every time I come around, I have one song to play for them. Leave him alone. Let he enjoy himself. Yeah? Yeah, Teresa, leave the damn doctor alone. Or you beat it all, you chance, or you win. Or you are show seat, and that seat, and all you can't lose that seat. Campaign. We are putting in the work. We are putting in the work. You know what I'm saying now? We say, what are you doing for the country? Wait, we come in. Come in. Hey. The state of Grenada, based on law, still having excess of a year and something of an election period. We had time. We had time. Come and force us. What we're doing now is public awareness, scrutinizing, awareness, information. Yes. Conversations. We want to be in the know. So we know how to deal with what we have to deal with on our return in office. Yeah? I ain't afraid them. Tell you they ain't coming by me anytime soon. Yeah? They ain't coming by me anytime soon. You realize there is a horse of a different color. So I don't see they going all on now, everybody live and they saying this and they saying that and they posting this one day and they posting this one day. They know me. They ain't coming by me at all. They ain't coming by me. Yeah? Yeah, sometimes I wake in the morning and never decide to curse one of them today. I just curse them and I just turn me back on them. They say something, I just leave a comment there and I go. And sometimes when I leave the comment there one night, but what about mouth bad so? Yeah? I doesn't say much to them. One comment, two comments, and I leave them there. Yeah? Because they want to say what they want to say, but I can't say what I want to say. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. So, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, another wonderful evening. Again, I want to apologize for late start. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this with many of you guys here. I know many of you all drive to and from work. The place is extremely congested in terms of vehicular traffic, road conditions. I don't know what is going on. And then plus, that heat is bearing down on us. And that is because the place heavy. Yeah, the place heavy. These NDC people and then they cloud heavy. We have to blow away these people and them. You know, a few years ago, them that had wind that changed, they had to use their own wind now and blow the bad spirit. Huh? The bad spirit away from around us. Alright. So ladies and gentlemen, again, let me end by sharing this sentiment. It is important to get involved. is important to get involved. You know, some people, we know you can step in the limelight. We know your role and function is not out front and you know, I have people like that, even among me. I have people that cannot come forward, but their intelligence as it relates to politics, they listen to programs, they listen to shows, they listen both sides. Yeah? They listen both sides. And when they do listen both sides, they weigh and measure. And let me say something to you guys, and instill that in our young people. Let me say this openly. Political parties' support is not genetic. Yes, you go want your child or children to support the party that you're supporting as an adult. But give them the facts as to why. Don't just say, I want you to vote NNP and I want you. No. Political support is not genetic. Let us bring our young people together and understand this is why we want you to vote the NNP. The NNP is not no fly-by-night political organization. They are not an organization that just jump out of the wilderness, or they pick a political leader that knows nothing about politics. Young women, the growth and development of our present political leader dates back to as far as 2003. Those of us who know our history, and I know it very well, I know her that well. And it's not knowing on the levels that we do. Imagine only last year at an event in St. Mark's, she knows my father. The political leader knows my father. And I've known Miss Pay from since 2003, being in youth parliament. And check how much years is that? So I've known the lady a very long time. Right? And when I say to you, our leader understands political governance and political protocol and procedure, I ain't joking. Miss Pierre plays by the book. And if you're around Miss Pierre long enough like me, if I'm doing something and we're in an audience, all Miss Pierre has to do is look at me. That is the level of understanding we have. All she would do is look at me. She would lift her brow, she would nod her head. If something is against, you would see she shake her head. I know the facial expressions so good because I've known her all these years. And it is a genuine person. Miss Pierre is a genuine individual. Yeah? Because you can know people based on the characteristics and the behavior. Yeah? I have said to people ever so often, I think I have gotten to understand people based on my parenting growth. I always would have felt comfortable in saying to my dad, this is this person or this is that person. But always scared to bring somebody to my mom. Always. And she's nice, but there are times you can't tell what kind of person she is on her day. May her soul continue to rest in peace. And I believe I have grown up understanding people based on the character they bring out. From the minute time you meet my father, you feel comfortable around him. Immediately. He is stringent. But he is not as my mother. He's not as loud and he wouldn't get. But he would get to his point, and sometimes when he speaks, he would get the results faster than my mother. And then sometimes she would be like, yeah, princess, Allah, and she would say, and then he would simply say, hey, don't do that. Or if he does have to get physical, you just get one lash. One. And I'm just saying this to say that at one point you understand people. When you grow up like that, you understand people. And if I tell you that Miss Pierre is a genuine person, on meeting Miss Pierre is a genuine person. Yeah? Very genuine. If you go to Miss Pierre and ask for an advice, you're getting an advice. If you go for assistance financially, she may give you and still advise you financially. If you go for parental guidance, she's going to give you that. That is the person. And I'm saying to you, if politics had to change Emmeline Pierre, it would have done it years ago. If politics had to do that. And she's still the same person. So when we start with leadership and leadership qualities. Compare her with Dickon Mitchell. Let our young people understand that this is a lady that spent years in our youth ministry. Years. Young people used to run and hug Miss Spear as much as they used to run and hug Keith Mitchell. Run and hug her. When Miss Spear is around, I felt as if I'm around the Queen of England. But I'm being honest. Let's start there, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah? Let us start genuinely letting our young people know that political support is not genetic. I don't want us to be bashing our children. You have to vote for NNP and you have to vote for. No. They're at our age where they understand, weigh and measure. Don't just say all the things that NNP do and don't tell them anything else. But let us do this together. Let us do this together. I am being honest. I see Ms. Spear as a wonderful Prime Minister. Wonderful. As I said, if there were flaws of Ms. Spear in politics, I believe by now we would have seen it very in depth. Look at this, we have our fellas that did 2-3 years, and we could tell already what they give if we leave them the 5, 10, 20 years, maybe as long as Ms. Spear. Maybe by the time we leave them the 10, 15 years, as long as they might buy a parish. Because that's all they want to do. Buy this and buy car, buy house, buy van, buy land, buy man. Anyways. At the end of the day, we got to do what we got to do. And what he's doing is, as I said to you from the start, and we played the clip from the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and he shared the sentiment. He's sharing the same sentiment. Let's unite. Let's come together. Let's work together in order that we capture the next general election. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, it was definitely a pleasure. I want to thank the Studio Galaxy, as the name I'm seeing. He said another powerful and very effective program, and I'm thanking you so very much. Because confession is, I got here late and I didn't get the time to prepare. Like, what I'm speaking on next, and what I'm, normally I like to do that, where I start, where I go, and I normally put them down as pointers. Yeah? If you think I'm joking, this is normally my paper when I'm here. Yeah? So I normally write on my paper, you see? I have pointers that I do. But today, and the time that I got here, and I said, you know what? I'm going on. I'm going on. Yeah? And I realized you guys may not see it because of the white. I don't want to see I pick up a blank piece of paper. Yeah? But as I said, I'm happy and I do appreciate the fact that you guys did enjoy today's program. And we want to, continue to walk along in that vein. So thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Do have yourself a wonderful evening. Continue to pay attention to the program. Listen to the programs. There is important information. Do the sharing of the important things from the NNP. Go onto the NNP's page, nnpsubscribe.org, I think. We want to, and that would be going across the screen very soon on my screen here. Oh, there is it. Yes, so you can, the page and all these things. You can also like the NNP Facebook page and follow the page. All those things you can also subscribe and so on. Yeah? So we want to get you guys into this. Well, what I can share concerning brother, somebody's asking about Brother Scott. I know Brother Scott did come down with the flu last week, and for those of you guys who have heard about it, it's somewhat bad. Yeah, and where we normally do operate, it is the AC condition. Some of them might get hot and my body. So I do sometimes low it down, but it makes me feel sometimes stuffy. But once he's back on, I think he's going to indicate. And so hence the reason why today I try to give you guys a lot of me. How much we're going on there? We're on about 80 minutes already. We are an hour and 20 minutes. Yeah? So continue to listen to the programs. I think if you go back on the pages and you want to, you may put up a rebroadcasting and so on. And we want to start doing those things. Sometimes we want to throw up some rebroadcasting, maybe not during the day. Yeah, maybe after we done speak, we might throw up one during the day and so on. And you want to see more of that when we put up rebroadcasting and so on. If you didn't miss a program, we won't put it back up again. We want to start giving you that gist to be in the know. Yeah? So on my YouTube page, you're going to see me put up clips and so on Facebook and all the places. All right? So ladies and gentlemen, do have yourself a blessed one. God's blessings to each and every one of you, wherever you are right now in Grenada, Carriacou, PD Martinique. The time check right now, it is 7:49. So do have yourself a blessed one. We're going to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I was your host, Royalty James, for another Class in Session program.